Hello, welcome to QUT News.
Hello.
First tonight, the government's budget pitch has been overshadowed by the resignation of 4 Labor MPs with dual citizenship. Now, Labor leader Bill Shorten is under fire.
The unending row of dual citizenship has hit Australia's Parliament again. This time Labor is the loser, and Bill Shorten is under attack for failing to act against party members with dual citizenship.
He decided to hang in there because he thought he could get away with it.
3 Labor members of the Parliament have resigned after Senator Katie Gallagher was ruled ineligible by the High Court. Senior Labor MPs came out of the gate apologising for causing mass by-elections.
We are very sorry that people in a number of seats will have to face by-elections.
Obviously, we're really sorry that it has turned out this way.
But Labor maintains there is at least one Liberal, Jason Falinski, who should step down as well, over suspected Polish citizenship.
He should just resign and we have all the by-elections on the one day.
The electorates of Fremantle, Braddon, Longman and Molonglo will go to the polls as early as next month. The coalition is hopeful voters will react angrily to the citizenship debacle, so it can pick up more seats. Danica Hill, QUT News.
A cold snap is bringing wintry scenes and blustery weather to some southern states, and eventually some of it will make its way to Brisbane for our first real chill of autumn.
In Victoria, snow started falling in the Alps today. Locals woke to sub-zero temperatures, -2 degrees. Cold weather is moving up the east coast from the Antarctic, and with it, damaging winds, rain and flash flooding, which is causing delays around Melbourne. Brisbane started the day with fog, clearing to a sunny day, but the mercury will start plummeting as early as Saturday. Weather experts say expect single-digit lows, possibly just 5 degrees.
Daytimes, sunny skies, but there will be cold winds, so tops around 22, 23 degrees. But if you're out of the sun and in the wind, it's going to feel more like 15 or 16 degrees.
There was talk of our coldest winter ever.
You should take every forecast with a pinch of salt, even mine. Of course, start with the Bureau of Meteorology and my forecasts with 7 News.
With temperatures set to hit a cooler 15 degrees this weekend, retailers are expecting an influx of customers looking to expand their winter wardrobes. It would be a welcome change to the first half of the year when retailers suffered a drop in sales. It could also be good news for shoppers.
Department stores could be able to offer bargains and sales on important winter products over the coming months.
So it's time to dig out those doonas, Brisbane. Georgia Indian, QUT News.
Federal police have smashed an international drug syndicate with 200 kilos of methamphetamine in Sydney. Incredibly, it was found undisguised in plastic bags in suitcases.
Police seized the drugs after searching cars and raiding a factory in Kingsgrove. 200 kilos of methamphetamine with an estimated street value of $150 million was found almost in plain sight, concealed only by plastic bags and a suitcase. This latest bust is part of a campaign to choke off the supply of drugs to Australians.
We will continue to see drug seizures in the hundreds of kilograms as our partnerships in Australia and overseas strengthen.
3 Hong Kong nationals were arrested during the bust and, if found guilty, could face life in prison. The haul will temporarily disrupt supplies, but police know the war on drugs won't end soon.
We are all getting very good at seizing drugs, but it won't make a difference in the long term as long as there is a current level of demand.
The 3 men arrested will now face Sydney Central Court. Claire Bowie, QUT News.
A pool fence sold nationwide has been recalled due to safety concerns. An investigation into Clark Rubber's Be Safe portable pool fence was launched after a video emerged of a 3-year-old boy unlatching the gate by himself. Owners can return the product for a full refund.
Part of Brisbane's war history will come alive at the Howard Smith Wharves development site. 5 recently discovered air raid shelters are being included in the project.
Lord Mayor Graham Quirk today inspected 5 World War II bunkers, set to become part of the new wharf precinct.
There's no room for error in there, is there?
The historic shelters were discovered as part of the $110 million transformation of the area. The Lord Mayor says the find is a reminder of Brisbane's proud war history.
Brisbane and our war history is extremely important. We were a pivotal city within the war effort for the Allied forces and the protection of freedom that we enjoy today.
The structures have received Heritage Hero status by the National Trust of Australia. They'll be made available for public visits in an attempt to encourage tourism.
So this is the first time in Queensland a site has been awarded this status, and I think it really exemplifies what this project is all about.
Only a handful of the 230 bunkers built across southeast Queensland during the war have survived. Almost all were dismantled or destroyed in the years since. The bunkers were created in response to the threat of a Japanese invasion. The amount of people in the area and the proximity to the bridge made the site a prime target. The restoration of other heritage-listed buildings on the site is set to revitalise Brisbane's riverfront. The first stage opens later this year. Grant Hayes, QUT News.
A 36-year-old woman has narrowly escaped serious injury in Melbourne after she was run over by a tram. The two women were taking photos of trees from the track when the tram driver furiously rang his bell to alert them. One woman tripped as she fled and the tram passed over the top of her on the tracks. The woman was taken to hospital to be treated for minor cuts.
Griffith Film School celebrates the Australian Outback at their upcoming festival in rural Winton. But the event is more than just an appreciation for all things ochre.
Australians making their mark. Griffith Film School's sizzle reel for this year's Outback Film Festival is filled with famous faces and familiar landscapes.
It's a unique event, a unique part of the world, and something that I think is very exciting.
Winton has played host to the festival and a boot camp for filmmakers for 5 years. The Outback town is notorious for a lot of things, but the spirit of locals is what keeps the film industry coming back.
We find the town of Winton really friendly. So we've had we went out the first year with 4 students, and basically it was so successful that we took out more and more and more. And basically it was all because the town was so friendly and accommodating.
And Winton gets a lot from the annual event too. The festival not only showcases Australian filmmakers, but the local region. And the added tourism has been a godsend for the drought-hardened area. It also brings in much-needed money to a local economy that can use every cent.
The festival alone drops, about $1 million worth of economic benefits and dollars into town.
It's great for the local economy. A lot of people come from Brisbane, Sydney, all over the place.
With Winton's Royal Open Air Theatre turning 100 this year, it's hoped there'll be another boost for the town. Tegan Matthews, QUT News.
Hundreds of tiny tots ran amok this morning in a special event involving messy play. Slime, paint and mud left the little ones grubby but happy.
Strollers were left abandoned as kids got into the fun.
Shake, shake my sillies out.
Playgroup Queensland hosted the sensory play event, which had almost 2,000 registrations. And the kids quite literally got their hands dirty.
Things like they want to explore sand, they want to explore rice and foam and slime.
And the best thing? Children of all abilities can enjoy the fun.
The good thing about sensory play is it's about exploration. So for the children and families that come along, there's no right or wrong way of actually experiencing any of the activities. Whatever they do is okay.
The words mud, paint and dye are what nightmares are made of for parents, but all were on board.
Getting messy and getting in it, that's what growing up's all about, and it's just great to have so much of a variety in the one spot that's safe, that they can run around and have fun with.
It's good because this isn't the sort of thing that we would normally do at home, so it's really nice to be able to take her out and let her just run amok basically.
The kids also had the chance to roll around with the circus and even sit in a police car.
With paint, slime and mud aplenty, it's been smiles all round. But as organisers wrap up another successful event, parents' thoughts turn to some very challenging laundry.
Lauren Reddy-X, QUT News.
Looking again at our main story, and Labor under fire for causing 4 by-elections.
And still to come, Jessica Mauboy wows crowds ahead of the Eurovision finals. An ageing former ruler has led an alliance of opposition parties to a surprise win in Malaysia's general election. Mahathir Mohamad defeated a coalition that's ruled for 6 decades.
The win was a shock, as it's the first change of government in 61 years.
Tomorrow we are going to have the swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister. Then the Prime Minister, at his leisure, may appoint the Deputy Prime Minister and the other ministers.
Mahathir won 113 seats to the ruling coalition's 79, returning him to the office of Prime Minister he once held for 22 years. At the age of 92, he'll become the oldest elected leader in the world.
We are not seeking revenge. What we want to do is to restore the rule of law.
Malaysians have been celebrating in the streets as the news broke.
It's hard to imagine, like we've been hoping for this situation for a very long time.
Mahathir has promised to seek a royal pardon for jailed opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim if they won the election, and once Anwar is free, to step aside and let him become Prime Minister. Kaylee Carew, QUT News.
Irish voters will soon decide whether to liberalise their tough abortion laws. Campaigners are ramping up their message with passions running high on both sides.
Current laws consider mother and child equal at all stages of the pregnancy, meaning there are almost no circumstances where a pregnancy can be legally aborted.
Hello, would you like liquid?
It's a massacre. That's what it will be.
The voice of the pro-choice campaign has become louder as more women are coming forward with their stories. Amy Callaghan said she felt like a criminal as she boarded a flight to Liverpool to have her pregnancy terminated after finding out her child would likely die from a rare brain condition moments after birth.
I thought, this baby, I can see the heartbeat, but it has no brain. And I thought, they have to do something in this case. This is severe. You can't live without your brain.
The Irish mother of one and her husband returned home to signs reading, "Licensed to kill," outside their apartment. There are still many within Ireland's large Catholic community who stand by the current laws, arguing everyone deserves a chance to live.
I believe the only person who gives life and takes life is God. And that is my belief. And I'm not going to change.
There is a strong physical presence with signs for and against on every street corner across the country. Campaigners for both sides are out in force with just over 2 weeks until the referendum on May 25th. Thompson Calland, QUT News.
300 years of royal history is going on sale. The Farnese Blue Diamond is expected to fetch between $3 and $6 million at auction.
The 6.16 carat diamond travelled through more than 7 generations of royal families and across Europe, hidden away in a royal jewellery box.
This amazing diamond that managed to remain in the hands of the ruling family of Spain, France, Italy and Austria until today. So we have 300 years of history completely mapped for the diamond.
Despite the diamond's age, experts say it's on trend for today's market and offers buyers a uniquely large diamond rarely matched. The Farnese diamond will appear in Sotheby's Geneva jewellery sale on May 15, alongside two 50-carat diamonds estimated to fetch $8 million each.
Today everybody wants to have to own coloured diamonds, especially pinks and blues. But I mean, these two stones are really top investment.
Thomas McLaughlin, QUT News.
In 9 days, Britain's Prince Harry will be marrying Meghan Markle in the grounds of Windsor Castle. Last-minute preparations are now underway, with some special friends ready for key roles.
Acting as escorts and procession members are friends from Harry's 10-year career in the British military.
Oh, it's a wedding. Everybody loves a wedding, absolutely. So, and when you know someone, and when it's accompanied by flags, drums, bands, horses, that's a day out, isn't it?
O'Leary will form part of the carriage procession, while Corporal Major Daniel Snoxell and Corporal of Horse John Broppy will line the staircase in the chapel.
He was very forthcoming, he was very friendly, very helpful. You know, he would do his best to ensure those, you know, under his command were looked after.
It just adds that next level of pride on that personal level, knowing him, knowing that he's found someone to settle down with and to be part of that special day.
Harry, now 33, joined the army in 2005. He toured in Afghanistan twice and rose to the rank of captain before leaving the army in 2015.
I served with him in Afghanistan in 2007. My thoughts on him, on a personal level, courageous, honourable young man when I knew him. Now he's a courageous, honourable, middle-aged man, soon to go into marriage.
Danica Hill, QUT News.
The Prince and his fiancée are already partners in wax at Madame Tussauds. Meghan Markle's statue has been added to that of Prince Harry, and his figure has been updated with a new beard. The wax model took 6 months to make and includes a replica of the diamond engagement ring and a green dress similar to the one she wore at the announcement. People with the names of Harry or Meghan will get free entry on opening day.
Jessica Mauboy is bringing Australia to the world as she performs at the 2018 Eurovision finals. The singer opened her campaign in Lisbon, Portugal.
Although rocketing through her first rounds of the competition, Mauboy admits she's now feeling the pressure. Over 180 million people are predicted to tune in.
It was quite nerve-wracking, but I think the lead-up has given me a lot of confidence and a lot of build, so I'm looking forward to just banging it out tomorrow night and just giving my whole heart.
Jessica Mauboy comes to the Eurovision stage with the advantage of a previous start in Denmark 4 years ago, as an unofficial halftime entertainer. Eurovision is renowned for its extravagant light shows and pyrotechnics, but the 28-year-old contestant says her performance will be all about the singing.
And for me, out of honesty, it was really just singing. It was writing a really good song and being able to perform that.
Mauboy will face off with a sea of strong contenders from around the world, but says her biggest competitor is Slovenia's Lea Srk. The Eurovision 2018 semi-finals kick off on Friday. Thomas McLaughlin, QUT News.
And now to sport. Bulldogs coach Dean Pay has spoken out for the first time since he was fined $25,000 for bagging referees. And AFL's Nick Naitanui has been suspended after rough play against Port Adelaide.
After describing Canterbury's loss to Brisbane as ridiculous and disgraceful, Bulldogs coach Dean Pay has justified his actions, saying fans deserve honesty.
I think honesty needs to be a big part of the game. There's no doubt about that. But again, from where I stand, I just need to be a little bit more selective with what I say.
Tonight, the Cowboys play the West Tigers, where they're expecting some backlash from fans following Scott Bolton's indecent assault charge.
It's definitely something we've all probably got to be prepared for. Being an away ground and they're in fairly close proximity, but we've all got to be mentally prepared for that.
North Queensland haven't won at Leichhardt Oval in 18 years. To AFL, and Nick Naitanui has been banned for one match after a rough tackle on Port Adelaide's Carl Amon, who suffered a delayed concussion. But he says he won't be changing his playing style.
I don't think I feel like I need to change anything. There was no malice in it. There was no aggression. It was just a tackle, I guess, and that's part of our game. It's been part of our game since day one.
Naitanui will return in round 9 against Richmond. Kaylee Carew, QUT News.
The weather details are next with Sarah Cawte.
And then the road paved with chocolate.
Hello, time to take a look at the weather. There were sunny skies right around the southeast today and warm temperatures to go with it, all over the mid-20s and close to predictions after cooler nights of around 14 degrees. Around the nation tomorrow, temperatures are set to plummet with an Antarctic wind sweeping across the country. Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide will only reach the mid-teens after dipping below 10 overnight. Canberra will be the coldest place in the nation with a top of 9 degrees. The forecast for Queensland is mild temperatures and sunny skies. Cairns and Townsville will hit the early 30s, but it will be a little cooler further south. Bundaberg, Longreach and Brisbane climbing to the mid-20s. It won't be a pleasant day on Moreton Bay tomorrow. Winds will be northwesterly, 15 to 20 knots in the morning before increasing to 25 knots and changing direction. Seas will be rising from around 1 metre and sunrise will be just after 6:30. Sunshine is predicted for both coasts tomorrow, with 23 on the Gold Coast and 24 north of Brisbane. In Brisbane itself, it's looking like perfect picnic weather for Mother's Day, with no rain predicted for the next 3 days. It could be a little cool though, with temperatures around the mid-20s during the day, and dropping to 9 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. That's the weather for now.
Finally, Polish drivers have faced a truly rocky road to work. A truck carrying 12 tonnes of chocolate overturned on a highway, creating slippery havoc.
In some areas, the chocolate was so thick, heavy machinery had to be brought in to scoop up the mess. Firefighters dispatched to the scene say the liquid chocolate is more difficult to remove than oil because it solidifies as it cools. It can only be shifted with pressurised hot water and took several hours for the workers to complete the task. The driver of the truck suffered a broken arm and was treated in hospital. Fortunately, no one else was injured in the incident, but it did rob one local journalist of his shoe. Thomas McLaughlin, QUT News.
That brings you up to date with QUT News. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.